Hey, Jody.
Hey Bruce, how's it going?
It's going. It is going. It has been. It's been a week.
Yes, it's been a very interesting, sort of anxiety-ridden week for me. I can definitely say that. I'm originally from Minnesota, so the things that are happening in Minneapolis are really hitting close to home, even though I'm not in Minneapolis anymore. So it's like I know those places. I know my friends and chosen family are still, a lot of them are still in Minneapolis. So it's been scary and yeah, not
Yeah,
a great couple days.
definitely not. And before we started recording, we talked about what this episode would be because we're generally talking about
Mm-hmm.
body image, clothing, where to get things, resources, and that just didn't feel right
Mm-hmm.
this week. It's with everything that's going on, it definitely feels, I think we agree based on what we talked about, it feels like you can't be silent right now, and
Yeah.
that it's important to talk about ways that people can help and can um, share their voice and donate. And so this episode is really going to be focused on resources and options and opportunities, ways for you uh, to be involved, especially if you're not able to protest. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully this will give you some direction.
Yeah, absolutely. There is stuff happening here in Portland, but I don't want to be out. There's still a pandemic going on. For last I checked, so I'm not comfortable going and being around a lot of people. But I still want to use my voice as much as I can, and my actions, and give people resources and tools to educate themselves. I'm trying to educate myself about the Black Lives Matter issues. I have
Hmm.
friends and family that are deal with this on a daily basis, so it's something that I feel that I need to be dealing with on a more daily basis as well. To use my voice and my power to um, you know go against racism and the oppression of people and that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a tough episode, but I think it's an important one for us to do for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think along the lines of what you said about learning, it's really important, I think, for me, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to, uh, it's not about me. It's
Yeah.
not about us. It's about us offering resources and hopefully giving people something that they can use
Hmm.
to move forward and to learn on their own. So, yeah, I mean, we should just kind of jump in.
Sure. Well, I have a lot of amazing activist friends, so I'm very happy that they're doing what they do, but they also are giving resources for people. There's there's so much out there, but it's also we kind of need to be careful where we're getting our information. Different news or weird websites and weird videos and pictures. You want to make sure that you're looking for reliable sources on the information that you may be sharing or reading online, that can spread a lot of disinformation, and a lot of stuff like that. Whatever. So just making sure that you're looking at reputable sites and sources for that. So that's another thing to look at. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know where to begin. I have a bunch of different things to look at. So
Well, I mean, I can jump in with one. There's You can take a look at the GoFundMe, the official George Floyd Memorial Fund.
mhm.
Uh, it's raising funds for George Floyd's family. Right now, it's up to 5 million, 5.7 million.
Oh wow.
That, yeah, their goal was 1.5. There have been a lot of donations. You can see that at gofundme.com/f/ George Floyd, all one word.
Hmm.
You'll be able to go there, and you can donate and share that, and definitely help out
Yeah. And
through the link.
we'll have a lot of these links available in our show notes on the website and stuff like that. So don't feel like you
Right.
have to write all this stuff down or remember it, because I have a horrible memory. We'll have a lot of this stuff and links
Right.
to a lot of these resources. One of the things that I thought was really interesting that some of my a friend of mine shared. The title, it says 26 ways to be in the struggle beyond the streets. So the first one, it says to host or attend a Know Your Rights training. It's to educate yourself, your loved ones, and your community on their rights when interacting with police. And there's a number of different resources, a lot of things you can read and watch videos, even if you don't go to a specific place and go to these meetings. The Justice Committee, Malcolm X grassroots movements. A lot of these are New York City specific resources, but you can go and watch and read a lot of these things. So when you are in the streets and you know your rights, about you have the right to protest and all these rights that you have, it's a really good way to just know what's going to happen when you go out there, and you know to keep yourself safer when you're going out there. And it's also just good to freshen up and know the laws when you're interacting with this kind of stuff.
Definitely. Another one to look at, as protests are happening all across the country and in lots of different cities, someone has put together a document that is a list of bail funds and legal help
Hmm.
broken down by city. So it's got, I mean, there are a ton. I'm seeing everything from Atlanta to, what do we have down here at the end? Washington State. I mean, it covers, they've got national link as well. There are a ton. Of different links here, so you can help support those bail funds in those different cities, which
Hmm.
is definitely important.
Yeah, and I think as a white man, I have to be more than it has to be more than I'm not a racist. I have to be more anti-racism and
Mhm.
standing up against people that are maybe saying or doing things that are racist, and using my power to stop those people from doing those kind of things, keeping them in check. So there's a lot of resources and books to read and learn, so that a lot of times we get into our bubbles, especially now when we're all basically at home, and it's a good time to use that time to read and educate yourself. That's a really big important thing. There's books and podcasts to listen to that are really really powerful, and there's a good one on NPR called Code Switch
Mhm.
that I started listening to the other day. It's I mean, there's a lot to listen to, and I've been kind of struggling getting too much information right now, and it's kind of giving me anxiety and whatnot. So I'm trying to just do it in doses. And they're just doing a lot of issues around um, race. It says race in your face. So just they're just talking about some of the white nationalist groups that are out there. A lot of about the coronavirus. There's a lot of different episodes, but it's about more about race in your face. It's kind of a good, just putting it in your face. I guess I'm repeating myself now, but it's a good one to check out.
Right.
And it's easy to consume, because you're just kind of listening when you can go about your day and do other activities or stuff like that. It's a good
Definitely.
one.
There's another campaign that you can support is called Campaign Zero, and it's a police reform group. They've been working on policy solutions informed by data and human rights principles to help end police violence in America. There's uh, a lot of information about policy solutions at their website. It's joincampaignzero.org. And you can learn more about what they represent and donate if you'd like to as well.
Hmm. And so a lot of other ways that you can use your voice to spread the word on the rallies or actions or events that are happening, um, using hashtags, all that kind of stuff. Um, there's a few different organizations: the Justice League, um, the Communities United for Police Reform. Is that the one that you just said? I don't remember what you just said.
No, that's it. That
Okay.
was a different one.
Yeah, so there's just a few different, there's a lot of different ways for you to use social media. That's where a lot of people are at, but making, like, again, making sure that you're using reputable sites and sources when you're sharing information like that to educate yourself and your family and your friends and your community. Using those resources is really important. You know, it's hard to, if you're not a person of color, sometimes it's difficult to realize some of those issues that they're dealing with. So just being um, open and listening to people, this, that you just need to listen more and hear what people are saying, and really help amplify their voices a little bit as much as you can. Anyways.
Absolutely. I think listening and realizing that your experience is not everyone's experience is so important,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, never more so than now. So that is definitely good. I know that there is a another Google Doc that's been making the rounds that you and I had talked about before, but I've definitely
Mm-hmm.
seen it getting out there. The anti-racism resources for white people. That's
Yeah.
getting out there. I think
That's one
that's
of the things I'm
yeah.
kind of reading a couple of things off of. It was really powerful to see a lot of that stuff. It's a nice resource to have. Um,
Mhm.
yeah.
There's a lot there. I mean, it covers everything from
Mm-hmm.
resources for white parents to raise anti-racist children to articles, videos, podcasts. I mean, there's so much that you can really get into, that will help inform you in a way that maybe you haven't been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
So
Um, Another thing, I know that a lot, especially since there's been a lot of fires and a lot of damage to a lot of the communities, especially in Minneapolis, and I know other parts of the country, cooking meals and donating food to those communities now that are affected because now they don't have, a store that's within walking distance or whatever to get food and supplies. I know that I've seen a lot of amazing things coming out of Minneapolis with the community kind of rallying and helping cleaning up and donating food to different organizations that are working. There's too many of them to even mention, but it's good to see that, excuse me, people are using social media to get that word out, and the donations are kind of flooding in, which is amazing. So, like I said, either cooking food for or ordering food for them, or donating resources and whatever, diapers and formulas and water and all that kind of stuff, canned goods. It's they're going to be struggling for a while now that a lot of their resources that were in their neighborhoods are kind of destroyed now. So that's a good way to help out, even if you don't want to be on the streets every day or all night or whatever, to support your community, which is really important right now.
absolutely. Um, we are drinking beers, so I feel like we should
Oh, I
take a
think
moment
it's
to
even more necessary to help calm my
yes.
nerves. What are you having over
Yes. So I've been going through the mixed variety pack of
there?
Kona Brewing, and I am down to the longboard island lager.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lager. So there we go.
Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
I
So
think I
you
think
know,
I've had pretty much all of those, and they're all like they're okay, like
yeah,
they're pretty
yeah.
okay.
I need to do a beer run for sure. It's imperative that I restock.
Hmm.
So I'll be trying to do that this week with some. I'm hoping to focus on a couple local microbreweries that I haven't tried before. So
Hmm. Yeah, there.
yeah,
I saw that there was like a thing on Saturdays that I was going to try to go to. It was like a drive-through beer thing. I
yeah.
think you had talked about it or shared it with me, and got a I got a little distracted this weekend. So
I think it's the Portland Sunday Market, maybe, or
something
Saturday
like that.
Market. So, and you actually drive up, and they have like booths set up, and
Hmm.
have different kinds of
Yeah,
beers, and you can order, pay, they give it to you, and you take
yeah.
off.
Yeah,
So
supporting. It's a weird way, but it's still supporting your community and local businesses, that kind of stuff. I'm not supporting a local brewery with this one, unfortunately,
nope,
but it's a new one I saw an ad for. It's the Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Wheat,
interesting.
brewed with tangerine peel, 3.6 grams of carbs, 95 calories. I don't know if this is like some skinny beer thing or
It's like the
something.
beer. It's the beer you drink when you're going on a jog later. So you
Or
know,
when you're done with it, I wouldn't want to drink beer and then go for a jog. No, but
maybe while you're on your jog, little canteen of
yeah. Ooh,
yeah.
it's very citrusy though.
I like that some of these beers, like PBR, is doing like there are multiple different different types of different flavors of
Ooh,
PBR, and now you've got like the different flavor of Blue Moon.
yeah,
Very interesting.
it's very like got a bite to it with that tangerine in there, but it's a nice summery, fruity beer.
Nice, nice.
I'll probably
Yes,
drink all this today, but
as you should, as you should. Yes. Next year or next week, I'm ready for a good a good beer. I'll be upgrading. I'm going to definitely try something different and unique.
yeah. And you can again follow along with our beers on the Untapped app. You
Mhm.
can, I think it's actually under my name, under Jody, but I share it in the notes. You can follow it in the show notes and along with
Yeah,
all the other
that's
resources. So,
Untapped doesn't, as of now, have a way to share, like to set up brand or like
I,
podcast
yeah, it's just under
accounts.
my name. So I was like, oh, well,
Yeah.
whatever. It's fine.
Yep. That's right.
But I try to remember to put all the beers on there. So,
You do a good job. Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
there's not over 100 beers on there. So, whatever.
Well,
I do my best, everyone.
you do. You do. Um, so back to the conversation. Uh, one that I think everybody is probably familiar with is the ACLU and
Hmm.
uh, supporting them. They're covering a lot of different things. Obviously, racial justice. They're also putting together a response to COVID-19. So, being able to donate to them, helps get funds to people who need it in a lot of different ways. So,
Hmm.
uh, absolutely worth taking a look at it. I mean, they cover, as far as different issues that they cover, it's everything from capital punishment to voting rights to smart justice, reproductive freedom, human rights, racial justice. So, I mean, there's a lot there, and
Hmm.
definitely a worthwhile donation.
Yeah. Um, there's going to be a bunch of places to donate to, but I think also trying to, as much as you can or are able to, volunteer for organizations, that are putting in the work. I know, like I said, there's a lot of people that are going out and cleaning up their communities after these um, protests and stuff that are happening. I think that's good to get out there as much as you can and know your neighbors and know your community members. That's a really great way to show your support
Mhm.
beyond just your family. Supporting your neighborhood and your community is really important. But there's different ways to do that. You can make calls. There's like call banks that you can even do from home. You can do that. You can call and email your representatives about social justice and race issues and everything. There's lots of different things that you can be doing beyond just being on the streets, which is important as well. But there's a lot more that needs to be done. So there's plenty of work to be done and plenty of resources that we're going to share with everyone. So
I think when it comes to politics, that it's easy to just focus on the national stuff as opposed to what's happening in your own
hmm.
backyard. So, absolutely doing things locally and looking for ways to work within your community is really important.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's where a lot of the local things are what sort of that's where everything starts. A lot of
Hmm.
times those local laws and um, politics are even more important sometimes when it comes to immediate issues that affect everyone. So making sure you're
Right.
voting, that's going to be a big one coming up. So making sure you're registered, um, do your if you have mail-in ballots, be able to do that. Making sure that you're registered. You're not going to tell you who to vote for, but make sure that you're out there voting. Um, that's the most important thing. And voting in your local elections, the primaries, all of them are important, not just
It's
the
huge.
big national one. When there's it's all those little elections matter. And it's not. Don't just like, oh, I'm just going to pick a random name. I'm guilty of doing that when I first started voting. I'm like, oh, I don't even know all these other things that I'm voting for. I don't even understand. Educate yourself, know who's on your ballot, the judges, the school board,
Mhm.
all that stuff. That stuff really matters when you come down to it. Um, Educating yourself on who's on the ballot and where they stand, and if picking out who you're going to vote for. Don't just scribble or fill in a circle or a dot or whatever you do,
Right. Right.
or touch the
Um,
screen depending on where you vote.
yes. Right. Right. Wear gloves. Um, uh, I don't know. I don't remember if we talked about this, but there's a change.org petition,
Hmm.
justice for George Floyd. It has been signed 9.2 million times
Wow.
since it went live. They're trying to hit 10.5. It looks like. You can support that petition at change.org, and I have a huge long link. I won't uh, I won't throw that out here, but if you go to change.org, you're going to be able to get to it. And again, we'll share some of these links in show notes, and we'll get them out in some different ways through
Hmm.
social as well.
Yeah, I've signed a lot of those change.org things in the past, and I think I mentioned this. I'm like, I don't know if they do actually do any good,
Sure.
but I have no problem, signing my name to some of those issues that I support. And oh my
Right.
God, excuse me. Wow, that beer
Right.
is
It's the
coming back.
beer. It's the beer.
Um,
uh,
so sorry, I just clicked on the link and now it went weird somewhere else. Um, there's a lot of organizations that you can follow to
mhm,
get more information and stay, up to date on what's going on. There's, like the NAACP, Black Lives Matter, Anti-Racism Center.
mhm.
Uh, there's so many of them that I think we need to help them amplify their voice and their messages to get them out there, even more so than they are now, and just to kind of expand your circle of knowledge as well. I think it's important to add those to your social media so you get other voices into your feed. So I know we're all consuming a lot more social media, so expanding your circle so that you are getting other voices into your bubble, so you're not just in that echo chamber of your little friends and family and stuff like that. So I think it's important to get outside of that.
And that happens so easily. It feels like with social media that
Hmm.
you're getting the messages and the updates and the posts that reinforce the things that you already believe.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
stepping out of that and doing that hard work and that sometimes very uncomfortable work
Yeah,
is
I was going to say that too. Sometimes it is uncomfortable because it's pushing against maybe some long held beliefs that you have. And, it's like, well, that's not how I believe or not what I think. But it's important to hear those other voices, actually listen to them, and educate yourself. It's your job to educate yourself on other people, the issues that are happening outside of your personal bubble, your personal sphere, even if it doesn't directly affect you, it does affect your community, so it does directly affect you in one way or
Mhm.
another.
Right.
It's uncomfortable and painful at times, but it's really important to push yourself beyond that. And then that's where the growth happens, is in those pain points when
Mhm.
things are difficult. That's when you know that you're growing and you're learning, and that's really important right now.
Absolutely.
I've been trying to keep myself, I've got a lot of time on my hands, so I've been trying to, um, I'm doing online courses for other things, but also I'm adding some of this stuff into my daily or weekly list of things to either read or listen to or watch, or you know lots of Netflix time. So
Yes.
maybe
Yes.
pick up a book or find a movie on one of these lists um, to put into that your Netflix queue or whatever onto your list.
Definitely. Definitely. It's important to do the work and to be an ally in a lot of different ways. And, it will make a difference. And, like I said at the beginning of this episode, we're not in a place where we can be silent and just kind of let things happen, because it's not going to get any better. And it's up to us to try to help push things forward.
Hmm. Yeah, we can't rely on other people to do things for you. Um, Sometimes our elected officials aren't always doing the work that maybe needs to be done. So we need to be, like I said, calling and voting and making sure our voices are heard, and making them move the needle the direction that we want it to be moving, for more social, racial justice. Those, they might not be coming for you right now, but if you might be next. So you never know who it's going to affect. I'm a gay guy. Things are getting weird. You gotta stand up for other people, so that when things get rough for you, they're going to stand up for you. So you
Right.
never know who they're going to come for. So you need to stand up for your community and the people that are around you. It's really important.
Absolutely. Um, I think we covered a number of resources, and hopefully, this helps you figure out where to go or what to do, because it is. I think a lot of people feel kind of helpless
Yeah.
right now, and um, trying to figure out what to do in these situations can be difficult. And the best thing
Hmm.
you can do is support people of color and support people's right to protest, and do what you can to try to make things better, and kind of step out of the way and let other people uh, you know speak and
Hmm.
move things forward.
Yeah.
So
We've got to
yeah.
actually listen to the people that are out there. This is the reason that they're out there, is that they haven't been heard and things haven't changed. So,
Right.
the this is kind of an American tradition, is protests and rallies, and we have the right to do this, and we need to be hearing these people, because obviously things are not going the way that they should be. So,
Right.
as like I said, I'm a gay guy. Pride it started as a riot, so I wouldn't have the rights that I do now if it hadn't started with that. There's been a lot of fight, a lot of protest, and fighting back, and that happens. Women's rights. There's protests and rallies that gave them a lot of rights, and still a lot of work needs to be done. So a lot of resources that we're going to share with you. You can check out the show notes. We'll be sending some links or posting some links on there. And like we said, it's up to you to do some work, and it's going to be uncomfortable. Maybe might be difficult, but it's in those points again that you're going to have some growth, some personal growth, and it's really important that we all, myself included, I'm going to be doing a lot of this, and it was a rough weekend trying to wrap my brain around how I felt about all this. So it,
Yeah.
it is difficult, but it's going to be better, and it will be better if we put in the work. That's what I'm going to say.
Absolutely. And if you're going out to a protest or a demonstration, be careful,
Hmm.
be safe, and yeah.
Yeah, make sure that you
So,
have protest buddies, or whatever. Make sure that people are with you. Make sure you know where to go. Make sure you know phone numbers that need to be called, all that kind of stuff before you just go out there. Have water and that kind of stuff with you. And we're going to get through it. It's going to be rough for a while, but it'll, I'm confident it's going to get better when it's going to get better. I just have to be positive in that situation for myself. And yeah.
All right. Well, there we go.
I appreciate you, Bruce.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of talked a little bit before this about what we should do, and I think it was really important that we did this. And I know it was a little shorter one this week, but there's a lot of information. Maybe you can take the rest of the time that you would normally listen to us and check out some of these resources that are in the show notes. They'll be on bearskin.com and chubster.com on the show notes for you, everyone, to check out. That's about all I have.
That's great.
All right,
Jody.
Well,
be safe.
Thank you. Follow along on all of our other social media. Subscribe and share this episode with some of your friends, and they'll get some resources as well. I think, like I said, it's important to amplify your voice and get the information out there. So thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Bruce.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your
podcasts.